A customer call and states that the film tail doesn't get wiped correctly on their load. If that sounds familiar, stick around because I will demonstrate how to get this right in this WolfTech Tip of the Day episode presented in collaboration with Support Pro. Bonjour, my name is Jean-Luc, Sales and Marketing Coordinator here at WolfTech. Before I go on with the adjustment details, I would like to identify the devices that compose the cut and wipe system and their sequence of action. As soon as the wrapper has stopped its rotating action, the push arm would bring the film into the clamp location, which is determined by a reed switch mount on the double-acting pneumatic cylinder. Once the clamp is closed, we energize the electrical heat wire, then activate the cut and wipe arms. This leads to the tail wiping action, which is achieved by resuming the push arm extending motion. Before returning the whole assembly back to home position, we need to retract the wipe arm so it does not pull the film tail with it while reversing. The cut and wipe sequence is completed once the proximity sensor validates that the push arm is fully retracted. All right, let's talk adjustments now. First, you need to verify that the push arm length is set right. You want to see the cut arm passing right behind the clamp bar while not touching it, and ensure that it does not reach any further than the conveyor chain guard. To change this adjustment, you need to remove these two bolts in order to extend or retract the push arm length. Once this is set, you can now move on to the speed adjustments. Since all the cut and wipe actions are powered by air pressure, you need to keep in mind that they follow a pneumatic principle called meter out. This means that you have to use a flow controller located on the side where the air is exhausting out of the cylinder for a given action. For example, if you want to change the speed of the push arm during its retracting motion, this is the flow control to be used. Now for the film clamp action, we are using two separate cylinders, so you want to synchronize their action to get the best results. For the cut and wipe arms, these two small cylinders are in fact controlled with the same valve, so their speed adjustments are critical to get the sequence right. You want to get the wipe arm to extend faster than the cut arm pivot speed. This way, you ensure that the brush is holding the film on the load before it gets cut, so it does not fall down. Okay, reed switch now. This device is activated by a magnet mount on the rod inside the cylinder, and we are using it to determine the push arm stop position where clamping and cutting actions are taking place. Here, the ideal adjustment is to get the cut arm to stop right beside the clamp jaw. This way, the film tail left on the load is as short as possible, and this helps for completely wiping the tail on the load. If the reed switch is set too far, you will see a certain portion of the film tail not being wiped properly. At this point, the heat wire takes care of the cutting part of the sequence. It is mounted on a pivoting arm that brings the wire in contact with the film. It's also spring-loaded to ensure that it remains tight when it expands during the heating time. Speaking of heating time, it is good to know that the wire remains cool at all times, and it would rapidly heat up just a split second before cutting the film. It is also cooling down quite rapidly, so it is safe to touch with bare skin just a few seconds after the film has been cut. So by the time that the wiping and retracting actions are completed, it is already back to a safe temperature. Also, if you happen to see a little smoke coming out of the wire, don't worry, this is normal. This is just a result of the heat wire self-cleaning process. The machine is engaging this self-cleaning feature when it has complete 50 wrap cycles. But you can manually trigger it from the HMI maintenance screen if you wish to remove some more serious plastic buildup from the heat wire. The last component adjustment to cover into this topic is the push arm home position proximity sensor. This one is critical for the machine operation because it is ensuring that the whole assembly is retract and clear for conveyor movement and rotation action. It should be adjusted 1/8 of an inch from the push arm trigger plate and it should also be very close to the edge of the plate, so a very small movement of the push arm would be detected immediately. Well, that's it for this episode. I hope it was informative. Please leave a comment down below and feel free to share ideas of subjects that you would like us to cover in our next episodes. Thanks for watching and have a great day.